Thank you so much for attending so far. We are now entering the second phase of our conference. And this is what I call the productivity coaching sessions. These are conversations, either going to be Q&A done by myself, or they're going to be actual kind of just experiences and examples that many amazing people are going to be sharing. We have yoga instructors. We have some serial entrepreneurs. We even have someone who's a successful investor talking about the business side of plant wellness, more in a presentation. So really excited. These are going to be 20, 25-minute kind of rapid fire kind of programming. And yeah, it's going to go all the way till about 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And then we're going to end it with a very cool presentation by Republic, who is put on this event, and we're gonna adjourn. So hope everyone's having a good time. Please make sure to put comments and stay active with the socials. Stay active with for instance, on Instagram, Republic is Join Republic. Peak Mindful is Peak Mindful. And then please definitely share the wealth of knowledge that you've learned from this. So our first productivity session, and I have to thank her because she had was able to work around her schedule to make this happen, is Shalini Vadhera, and she is the founder of Ready, Set, Jet. She's a global beauty formulator. She's also the best-selling author of Passport to Beauty. I'm going to read her bio because it's very extensive and impressive, and I really want everyone to really understand how impressive this individual is. So Shalini Vadhera was founded something called Ready, Jet, Set, and it is a global platform for helping people spread about beauty and wellness. After receiving the Mahatma Gandhi Award at the British House of Lords, Shalini's active call for women empowerment caught the attention of officials in the Indian government, who then asked her to help disenfranchise girls and women in India. Shalini knew it was time to use beauty for a higher purpose. Knowing the power of education and leadership skills, Shalini knew she had to use everything she had to learn in her career to pay it forward and help break the cycle of poverty, while also bringing the Ready, Jet, Set tribe the tools to thrive. And here's some of the things that you're going to learn in this presentation. What are the beauty and wellness opportunities that investors are searching for? Advice for product creators and entrepreneurs, and then the benefits of using natural ingredients and products to be more sustainable and cost effective. So I'm going to turn off the presentation, and I'm going to get Shalini here right now to just jump into the conversation. Thank you. Hey, how you doing?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for doing this.
Oh, I'm happy to be here. I think what you're doing is amazing.
Thank you. Thank you. So let's talk about your journey. So, I want to talk about the early days before you got, awarded by every noble person in the world, before the governments have acknowledged you. And I'm having fun, but I'm truly in awe of all that. Like, how did you stay focused to be the successful person you are right now? Or was it like ups and downs? Just be brutal with us. As you can tell, this conference, we've had a lot of vulnerability and honesty. It's around mental wellness. So share with people your journey.
Yeah, well, I mean, Ash, as you know, I have definitely seen the highest peaks and the lowest valleys in my journey as an entrepreneur, and had my, butt kicked a couple times. But,
Yeah.
The good thing is having a mental attitude that, is one thing people can't take away from you. Once you learn how to really control your energy and your mind. And I learned that actually through a massive spiritual awakening after I exited my first brand. And I had met a Korean master, and I've really loved, the brainwave vibration meditation and the things that I was taught through them. And I was actually struck by lightning on my way to meet with him in Sedona, and it changed my life. And what I left that weekend with was that a positive mind equals a positive life, and that you really have the opportunity to control your story and create the life you want just by what you're, the self-talk that you give yourself on a daily basis. And every time I've, been in a situation where I've been, challenged or just, really upset or depressed, I've gone back to forcing myself to create a new story. And that's really what's kept me, pursuing that, ultimate climb to the top of the mountain through my entire career, because, it's up to me at the end of the day.
Wow. Okay. No, I love how, first off, I've never met anyone who's been struck by lightning. So that's What was that like? I'm just curious.
Well, first of all, I was in my car, but I was
Okay.
holding my phone, which was plugged into the car, and it just conducted the charge right through me. So it literally felt like somebody was injecting hot acid through the left side of my body. It just crawled and burned, and I had, Bell's palsy on one side of my face for a while, and I still have issues with, my left hand and foot, but it was literally the lightning strike that I needed in order to wake me up and realize that, you can be a victim of circumstance, or you can actually, use your mindset to create a new story for yourself. And who would have thought we'd be here today, working with governments and really using everything that I've learned in the last 20 years of my career to hopefully use beauty and wellness as a vehicle for global change and impacting a lot of women's lives.
Okay. That makes a lot of sense about how you're inspired from the impact perspective. Let's talk about the main subject now. We shared a little about, that, listen, everyone, like Shalini is not like, she wasn't given this grand pot of gold from the beginning. She had to learn, she had to develop her own journey. Along those ways, though, you've seen a lot. I mean, you've created products, you've written best-selling books on beauty and wellness. For 2021, people who, let's talk about, this is a two-part question. First is entrepreneurs. The second would be investors. So from the entrepreneur standpoint, if you were in that early stage and you were able to build some beauty wellness type of product, what do you feel would be a hot trend? Something that someone is like, I'm actually passionate about it, and it actually falls along with the trends. Like, what are the things that you think you'd give when you mentor people, advise people to create?
Absolutely. I think 2020 has really seen a drastic shift in the needs of consumers. There's a beautiful convergence of this outlook now to a holistic approach to beauty, which really encompasses wellness in an amazing way. So you're starting to see a lot of brands pop up now that have, beauty from the inside through supplements, through collagen, and really taking in this wellness approach. One of the things that we added because of the pandemic is we decided to expand our impact by creating an online community-driven academy where women could get the tools to thrive. So not only could they learn a skill, going back to this shift in consumers, and also from entrepreneurs, we were hearing from a lot of women that maybe they don't necessarily want to be a full-on entrepreneur, but they want to learn skills that make them self-sufficient. So we are providing them courses where they can get new skills and new training. But on the flip side, we also have all these virtual events where, they can learn Ayurveda, they can learn a wellness recipe of the week, they can do yoga and Goa, they can do meditation. So really creating a toolkit for women to get everything they need to put themselves in a very empowered state. So as far as, new brands that are coming out, we're seeing a lot in the CBD space that kind of, falls in between beauty and wellness, that
Plant-based
industries, plant-based. We're seeing a really incredible use of really beautiful ingredient stories that not only can work on the skin, but also through like aromatherapy. One of the products that I created in the Passport to Beauty brand are real gemstone roller balls, crystal rollers with a essential oil blend that we know is going to boost your mood or give you the vibe that you need for that day. So it's how are you actually mentally influencing your consumer through a beauty and wellness product. So that's one of the big trends that we're seeing, is this marriage of beauty and wellness. And then from an investor standpoint, you're looking at a $4.2 trillion business on wellness, and you're looking at a $532 billion business in beauty, and it's only growing. And I think during the last 6 months alone, we've seen an increase on the direct-to-consumer play, just because people are stuck at home. And I don't think there's ever been a better time to actually start a brand.
I don't disagree with you. I think with platforms like Shopify, where you can literally create your own, you can literally create, and I'm not here to insult anyone if they work for these companies, you can literally create the next Lululemon with a Shopify site. And I'm not saying it's going to reach the sales of Lululemon, but you can literally get everything manufactured. You can get custom prints. You can get shop to order on a Shopify site. If you're in the media world, you can get a book done using Amazon Kindle publishing. I mean, I'm not telling you not to get a book published. I'm just saying that the tools are so available. But along those lines, like any time in business, there's certain niches or certain themes. When you say it's the best time to create a beauty and wellness product, let's go deeper. What are specifically, whether it's with females or men, is there a certain type of person? It could literally be down to the ethnicity or the age or the weight type. Is there anything like that that you think is exciting that hasn't really reached its potential yet in beauty and wellness?
I think what's been interesting for us personally, and I'll speak from my own personal experience. We've noticed that it's not about ageism anymore. Before
Okay.
it used to be like, what's your demographic? Oh, we're hitting the 18 to 35, or what we've noticed is that everybody's interested in how they can take their, how they can become their best self, how they can balance their life. And I think that, whether you're a mom and you're looking for extra time, with Ready Set Jet, the products that we created actually simplify your routine. So we're getting away from like a 21 step Korean,
Yeah.
beauty routine into like, you can do your whole face in these 3 batons, right? So I think it's really tapping into what's going on with people's lifestyles. If it is a weight thing, you're seeing, look at Noom. Noom is a fantastic,
Yeah.
example of not just being a weight loss app, but also providing you like the mental tools that you need. Like, what is your self-talk? Why are you emotionally eating? Digging in deeper into what's driving these consumers to want to buy and want to become part of your community.
Okay. That makes a lot of sense. Let's dive into the last part of this conversation, which is really, I mean, I read it very fast, but it's seriously legit that you've been honored by multiple governments and that you're on this cause of empowering women. I want to know specifically, and this is really helpful for other people too, because we often get inspired. Maybe at times you don't expect it. I want to know, when were you inspired? What was that point in your life when you're like, okay, I needed to take my passion and my purpose to help, people worldwide? Like, I want to know that part of Shalini, because I think that'll be inspiring for all of us.
Well, thank you. I mean, I launched my first brand in Sephora, QVC, HSN, and it was a beauty brand, and it was taking all these secrets from around the world. But I think when I came out of that, I had faced just a lot as a female founder. And one of the things I love about Republic is this opportunity to bring more women in, because as you
Yeah.
know, funding game is very difficult. We're down to now 2% of female founded companies being funded, 1% if you're a minority. So I think I was just honestly, Ash, just pissed off that I
Fair
had not
enough.
met a lot of women. I never met a woman in a funding room at that time. I never met a woman in a boardroom. I faced a lot of gender bias and sexual harassment. And I really was like, something's got to change. And it was really after that trip to Sedona and that spiritual awakening is when I launched Power Beauty Living, which I launched globally at the United Nations, which was a platform all about powering up your business. So mentorship for women, by women, powering up your beauty. Like, what are you doing for unmatched confidence to have unmatched leverage in the world? Because at the end of the day, a confident woman can change the world. And then what are you doing to power up your life? And that's taking these wellness modalities I had learned from all over the world and like creating a ritual that you could do for 30 days. So literally nobody could mess with you. And that it took off right away. We had the first event, we had 175 women show up, 8 women got jobs that night. We started doing, retreats in Sedona with 40 to 60 women that wanted to learn how to ignite their infinite potential, wanted to learn how to unleash, blocks that were blocking them from being able to move forward and reach their goals. And that's when I started looking globally at what was going on and realizing, because of social media, people in India were doing the same thing we were doing here. People in the UK had the same needs. Women were very, very interested in like, how can I look better? How can I feel better? How can I be better? And, I went on to create a number of brands for Paramount Pictures. I created the Baywatch movie brand, Turner Classic Movies, FabFitFun, created my next brand, Passport to Beauty. And then once I received the Mahatma Gandhi Award at the British House of Lords, I happened to go to India within a few months, and I hadn't been there in almost 10 years. And the day I arrived, the government was waiting at my hotel. And that's when I met with the Supreme Court and the ministers and the, Congress. And they said, we really need you to help the girls. And so I came back home, and a few months later, they called and they said, we need you to come speak for an hour on what you're going to do. And that's when I realized that beauty is so much more than skin deep, and wellness plays a huge part in that, because, mindset is very important. How you feel, how you look is really going to determine what you can go out there and accomplish in the world. And so I realized that we had an opportunity to use all of these different modalities and create impact by creating a brand that we could scale globally. And I'm very proud to say that our first round of funding came from 90% women.
Wow.
I would
Nice.
say the majority of them were first-time investors. So we changed that entire story for a lot of women. A lot of them were immigrants that were so proud that this was their first investment. They were doing something aside from, their husband. It was actually quite touching. And then taking that brand and using part of the proceeds to go in and teach these girls a skill and a vocation to help break that cycle of poverty by giving them livelihood enablement and job placement. And because of the pandemic, we realized that that impact was much deeper than just the slums and villages. I mean, we were having everyday women and girls call saying, I used to work at Macy's or I used to work at Sephora and I've lost my job. And I need to know how I can become, like I said, this whole, self-sufficient generation. How can I go out there and do something that's going to help me? And that's really when we decided to wrap much more around a beauty brand in creating the community and bringing all these, literally the best experts in the world in wellness and food and beauty and all the things that make people thrive, to give them the opportunity. And for me, it's always been global. You know that. My first book was Passport to Beauty, where we went around the world and got the best beauty secrets. Over the last few years, I've been really, really interested in, mental health, wellness, and I've been, really diving deep and exploring what people are doing around the world, because we can learn from every culture. Some of these modalities have been around for centuries, and they're game-changing life changers. And so that's what's really exciting to me, is to bring that up front and really showcase some of these different rituals.
Well, Shalini, I can't thank you enough for jumping in. First of many conversations. We'll definitely have you on board again, because we're definitely going to do more of these mental wellness events. Before we have you sign off, though, what is something that people can help you on? Like, what is a project or anything? We'll type it in the chat note, and and people, I'm sure, will connect with you after. But what is something that we all can help you with? What's an initiative that would?
Well, we are going to be launching a crowdfunding campaign on Republic in the next
Oh,
few months.
wow. All right, there you go. I didn't even know that.
So much for the people of the world that we really want them to be a part of our journey. So of course, we would love for anyone of you guys to spread the word and to also join our journey with Ready, Set, Jet and be a part of, using beauty and wellness as a vehicle for global change.
Awesome. Well, thank you again.
Thanks so much, Ash. Good to see you.